We must restore integrity and the rule of law at our borders. We will stop the drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth. My administration has answered the pleas of the American people for immigration enforcement and border security. We want all Americans to succeed, but that can't happen in an environment of lawless chaos.
President Trump talking tough on immigration as Iraq is now reportedly being removed from the list of the 7 countries on his travel ban.
Yeah, with a new immigration executive order expected later this week, what can we expect? Constitutional attorney Chris Gover is here to weigh in on this. What do you expect to see this week, Chris?
Well, I think we're going to see 2 key changes in the executive order. The first is we're going to see an executive order that makes clear that it applies only to individuals who have never stepped foot on U.S. soil, and distinguish and say that it does not apply to either green card holders or to illegal immigrants who are even here illegally. That was a major problem that the Ninth Circuit found when they lifted the travel ban, and I think you'll see, number one, that fix. And you'll also see a removal of any reference to religious preferences or any other issues that a lot of detractors criticize the initial executive order for.
You also said that it comes down to carving out anyone who has what you call due process rights. And what do you mean by that?
Right. So due process in the Constitution in this context, it basically comes down to this. Who has the right to challenge whether it's their removal from their country or their entry into the United States? Who has the right to challenge that government's decision in court? And that is key here, because people who have never stepped foot onto U.S. soil and have no connection to this country, they don't have due process rights under our country, and they don't have the right to sue and challenge the travel ban. Whereas people who are here, even illegally, our courts have held that those are individuals that have due process rights, and thus that gives them the opportunity to challenge the travel ban in court.
One of the things that the president said last night was by enforcing immigration laws, we can help the unemployed and make our communities safer. I don't think anyone would disagree with the community safer issue. But the unemployed, there's a lot of critics that say, look, Americans simply aren't doing these jobs that these companies are using these immigrants for.
Right. I think one thing we're going to see, and this kind of is part of Trump's populist appeal. There are a lot of American people out there who are struggling, who understand and believe that part of their struggles are a result of our immigration problem and our country's lack of enforcing the immigration laws that we have in place. I think only time will tell with President Trump's changes and the implementation of these policies what kind of effect that has. But I think one thing from his language and the speech last night is it's going to appeal to a lot of the American people, not only people who voted for him and supported him during the election, but I think he brought a lot of other people over, onto his side of the fence last night who may have been on that fence.
Can I ask you something, some new information that's come out this morning? It's being reported, as we said, that Iraq is now going to be taken off that list of the 7 countries. Based on everything that you just outlined for us, do you think that's the right thing to do?
Well, I think that, obviously the United States and our military has some intelligence and probably seeing some facts of what, the types of individuals who are coming over from Iraq, what their vetting processes are. I mean, keep in mind, a lot of the countries who were focused in this original travel ban, and it will be in the new executive order as well, a large problem that the president is trying to address is their deficiencies in their own vetting process of individuals who are coming over and immigrating into the United States. The original purpose of that travel ban, and according to Donald Trump, was to give our government the time to assess those policies and make changes that are necessary. And if they've taken a look at this and determined that Iraq has a sufficient vetting process in place, then that's great, and we can start narrowing the list of other countries we need to deal with.
Chris, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for your analysis.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.